so self-examinatory. It's so like your life is gone over in such massive detail. It's like your frequency has been altered. It's like you're much more perceptive about your environment.
It's like having to fucking fine comb through all your shit yourself.
Yeah.
And just the things you got going on.
And then the universe itself and just the idea of biological life, you know?
It's almost like a lighter form of what mushrooms do to you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's similar, but, not as intense.
Not as intense, but at high doses, I think it could be just as intense.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of the Vedic texts and stuff and like ancient Hindu stuff, a lot of it was based on the eating of hash.
Yeah.
You know, that's like one of their main like things that they would consume.
Yeah. It's crazy that they would eat it.
Yeah.
Imagine when it broke down.
That was God damn it.
Jesus, you must have felt close to whatever higher, power you were believing in. You must have felt like right there.
Well, I've seen on edibles, I've seen like weird Aztec sort of imagery and shit when you close your eyes. I've seen that, that crazy deep edible sleeping high of like the immensely illuminated dream world I think
it definitely activates the part of the brain that you normally can't get to. You know what I mean? Because there is that side that we normally can't get to just as we are when we're not on anything. We're just here in this world right here, right now. But like things like mushrooms and eating, the doing the edible style, you tap into those parts, those little parts that you normally can't get to.
Well, you know what I think it is, man? I think what you are, we like to think of ourselves as individuals, but what you are is the sum of your nutrition, your genetics, your environment. There's all kinds of stuff that makes you who you are.
Right.
And when you add in these like plants that people have been using for their psychological benefit for thousands of years, when you add those in, I think it makes you more. Yeah. I think it makes you more of whatever. You have more energy. There's more thought going on. There's more. It adds to your system.
Yeah.
It becomes a part of your system, and you become more. I think you think more. You're more thoughtful. You're more community oriented. You're more creative.
Yeah.
That's how I always feel.
I think so too. I think for some people it
freaks them out.
It freaks them out, and some people it does different. Some people it makes them lackadaisical and unaware. But that's the whole thing is that it affects everybody different.
Yeah.
Like for guys like us, we can function on it. We can be creative. We can do our jobs, and it doesn't affect us one way or another. You know what I mean? It's like you said. It kind of enhances our abilities to focus on whatever our tasks are, or be more creative, or things like that.
It relaxes your ego too.
It relaxes. Yeah, definitely does that. You know, and I think it sometimes makes you a little bit more patient.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
we could all use that.
You're such in a relaxed mode that you don't really want to be bothered by anything that's...
Yeah, there's that.
It's like, just come on, man, relax.
There's definitely that.
So, I mean, that's the thing, though. We've been doing it for so long that we've had a chance to, experience all these things,
But universally, like the people that I meet that are like professional weed smokers, they're cool as fuck.
Cool as fuck.
Like I got to hang out with Tommy Chong like a couple of times.
Cool as fuck.
Take
Funny
pictures with him. He's such a nice guy.
Funny guy.
What a nice guy to be around too.
As a matter of fact, I'll see Tommy on Thursday because we're doing this march on March 1st from City Hall to the Federal Building in downtown Los Angeles off of Temple. And it's to create awareness for all the things that the feds are doing to try to close down all the dispensaries and collectives and stuff like that. So we're doing this thing called the Smoke Out for Safe Access and whatnot. We're doing it with Americans for Safe Access, my partner Don Duncan, and it's all a part of our Smoke Out festival that we got jumping off on the 3rd this Saturday. So we're going to be down there. Tommy's going to be down there. It's a peaceful protest. We're going to have, some speakers just give that education and information to people, so that they can figure out what they need to do to, stop that from happening. Because
the folks that don't know and are ignorant about it, there's plenty of books on the subject of the history of marijuana, but It was basically a railroad scam by William Randolph Hearst and
Right.
and a bunch of other people who didn't
Bunch of
want
big corporations
hemp as a commodity.
DuPont,
Yeah.
them being one of the corporations.
In like what was it, like 1930 or something
The
when
30s.
all this happened?
Yeah.
Think about that. Here we are.
Because before that, it was legal.
Yeah.
Before that, it wasn't illegal. It wasn't taboo or anything. It was a part of, the society.
Yeah, and when they made marijuana illegal, they didn't even know they were making hemp illegal.
Yeah.
And the fact that happened now, look at it where we're at now, 2012. That's almost 100 years ago. That's fucking crazy.
That's how. Yeah.
What an amazing job they did. What an amazing piece of propaganda.
Yeah.
That in the age of information, you would figure all the bullshit would dissolve in the age of information.
Yeah.
Well, we've reached it. We've yet to figure out what's entirely true, like in Wikipedia entries and shit like that. But essentially, this is the age of information.
You know what's funny about that is that now that people are informed, when you question the people who follow along with the lies that the government's told us about the plant and the history of it and all that stuff, when you present actual facts to them, and calling them on bullshit, they act like it doesn't exist still. Like they turn their face from it and, well, we don't know anything about that. They play the denial game. And, they got to realize is that people are more informed these days. They educate themselves, because people feel their governments lie to them. You see the shit going around the world, traveling around the world, and you see everything that's going on. People are fed up because they're getting fed bullshit by their governments from one degree to another, and this is just another form of it.
It's really a simple formula. Weed expands your consciousness. Weed makes you nicer, gives you more of a sense of community. The government doesn't want you to smoke weed. The government needs weed. It's that simple.
Yeah.
They just need to get high.
That's
really exactly what it is. Like the idea that just because we don't want some laws, like laws that are oppressive, doesn't mean we're not looking for government. Doesn't mean we're not looking for laws against murder and rape. And like, we're good citizens.
Let me tell
lump
you.
us in with, just because of a personal psychoactive choice to lump us in with criminals is really a fucked up thing to do.
I'll tell you what. I strongly believe that a lot of these politicians smoke weed. Some of them, not necessarily all of them, because even in the Carter administration, there was a time Willie Nelson went to visit the White House, and there was somebody on Carter's staff, general or some shit. They took him up to the roof of the White House and they smoked. Willie Nelson told this on Howard Stern. I was listening to that show. And he was saying that, he went up there and smoked with one of the generals, smoked some weed up there.
God damn.
And, you got to think about it like this. A lot of those dudes probably, in their leisure time, they probably smoke pot. But
that's crazy. But their job makes them have to go after people.
But their job makes them have to shut the fuck up about it, go after people, because here's the thing, right? The people that vote a lot are the religious. A lot of religious folks vote those guys into office. A lot of Republicans get voted by, the religious faction of the, United States. If you fall in favor to, our movement, the pro-legalization movement, you lose votes, you lose that seat, you lose that position. And
you lose all that influence.
Yeah. So until they can figure out how to sell it to the religious voters, they're always going to be on the side that they're on. When they figure out how to sell it to them and say, oh, hey, look, this is okay. We need this. It's going to stimulate our economy in every state. It's going to bring new jobs, new revenue. Till they figure out how to sell that to them without it like looking like some hypocritical shit, that they promise,
right.
these particular base of voters. They're always going to act like, okay, we need to go after these guys, because look, this is why they're going. To me, my theory is they're going after the dispensaries because it's voting time. Everybody's campaigning. They want to make promises and.
Well, the only way we can stop that is as a people, we let them know how disgusting it is, and let companies know that they have to respect the stoner dollar.
Exactly.
Because there's a lot of us, man.
Really?
There's a lot of stoners. And if stoners all got together and said, oh, this company, this X company is bad for civil liberties or bad for people or and let's stop using this product.
Right.
That would have a significant impact.
Definitely.
If amongst stoners they were like, oh, man, you should never use that because this company exploits blah, blah, blah. And we have a deal where we don't use their shit. That's a big financial deal.
Definitely.
You have to think of how many of us.
Yeah. And think about it like this. These dispensaries, most of them, probably 70% of them, do really well. So that creates a lot of tax dollar for each state that they're in. Places like Denver, Michigan,
they're
obviously
big
California. It's big business, and it creates so much capital. You take these dispensaries away, and each state is going to feel that because there's no other. I mean, you got movies and stuff like that generates money in some of these places. But other than that, there's, it's like a fucking no-brainer. It's cliche to say, but it's the number one cash crop. And it's proven, by how much these dispensaries make and how much it affected the state economy. You know what I mean?
Did you hear about this Vegas prosecutor that got caught with crack?
Yeah.
The guy arrested Bruno Mars for cocaine and Paris Hilton
and
for
he got
cocaine.
caught with crack.
He got caught smoking crack. This motherfucker.
Yeah.
He's the prosecutor.
But that's what I'm saying, man. You got these guys that are coming down on the medical marijuana movement or the pro legalization movement, and they're doing worse drugs than
they're crazy. I have a friend, and his wife takes Xanax. And she takes Xanax all the time, man. And the way it's been explained to me is that Xanax calms you down and makes you feel so good and so relaxed and without a care in the world. But when it wears off, then you're at a heightened state of paranoia and weirdness. And you just feel like
I could see that, man. And
that it actually sets you back from where you were. Say if you were feeling shitty, when you're done, when it wears off, it actually sets you back. This woman would never consider marijuana, never, because marijuana would be like, oh, marijuana.
Yeah, because
what am I, a junkie?
Yeah, because exactly
the
literally label, because
yeah.
the black label that's been put on it. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
And that's the other issue here. Is that pharmaceuticals companies stand to lose money if this becomes illegal because it substitutes for a lot of things that marijuana can treat. Whether you consume it by smoking it or by a tablet.
Yeah, but you know what? Pharmaceutical companies have to understand. Stop being greedy cunts. There's a lot of shit that you can make that's awesome. Just because pot is going to make some of your shit not worth as much as it was before, it doesn't mean you won't have all sorts of other drugs that are being invented to cure all sorts of other things. It shouldn't be that there's a war between pharmaceutical and natural cures. It should be that they all work together.
Yeah, it should be working together, but that goes to show you how greedy they are.
Goes to show you that the pharmaceutical companies need to start smoking weed.
You know what it is they'd rather keep people addicted on that chemically made bullshit that really doesn't treat you for anything. It just suppresses the shit for the meantime for as long as you take it. But what it is that when people are subscribed all these, this medication over the counter shit, most of the time they're taking all this different stuff that marijuana could treat, and then they develop something else from taking so many different medications to treat all these different things. And they end up getting fucked up by that medication that it's treating to suppress some other shit that they're fucked up for. And that's, that boggles my mind. Why would you stick to this when it's progressively making you worse in another area that you didn't have a problem in till you started taking so many of this over-the-counter shit when you could have just smoked a joint or taken a THC tablet or whatever edible, that would probably alleviate your problem.
Well, a lot of people's problems, instead of getting them a pill for, a lot of people's problems are comprehensive. It's diet, it's your life, the kind of stress that you're involved in. What is your happiness level like? How much sleep are you getting? There's a lot of shit going on, and a lot of people, you try to fix one thing or another with a pill, and you run into slippery slopes. However, there's a lot of people that have some serious diseases, and some bad motherfuckers have come up with some awesome medication for those diseases and allow these people to live
True.
like regular lives. So it's not that there's it's not that we should be against pharmaceutical companies. That pharmaceutical companies should just leave natural shit alone.
Yeah.
Stop trying to just control everything through your fucking chemicals. You have enough chemicals, and it's going to be uber profitable as it is. You're still a gigantic, huge fucking company.
Yeah, they'll always be those companies.
Yeah, we're always going to need medication. We're
Yeah.
always going to need all sorts of different shit, antibiotics, all sorts of different things that these big corporations can provide. It's not like we should be against them.
Yeah.